You can also call it something else if CEO makes you feel weird. But essentially a CEO day, meaning we need to block off time in our calendar to think about why we're doing what we're doing. Because most of us are very good at client work. We're very good at the executing the vision of others. But when it comes to actually taking time to like carve out that reflection, like you mentioned, and that like, hey, what do I actually, am I doing what I really like doing? Because I had this weird realization that I was like, it sounds a little, I feel like a little pretentious, but it's like there's stuff I'm good at, but I don't like it.
Yeah.
And I've had roles that people offer me and I've realized I could do that, but it's not what I enjoy doing. But I could do it and I could do it well, but I don't like it. And so you carve out time. A whole day is lovely. At this point, I only do about 3-4 hours. So I block it off. I don't stay in my home office. I go somewhere different. I have a certain coffee shop I go to, and I sit there with my noise canceling headphones on. And for like 3 hours, I'm not in my email. And I'm sitting and thinking about some of these questions of like, what do you want more? What did I like this last month? What didn't I like? What do I want more of? What do I want less of? I do the tactical, like looking at my profit loss statement as a business owner, trying to figure out if there's anything I missed, like expenses wise or anything. But just taking time and space to be like, what was a highlight from the last month? What am I so proud of? What was something maybe I learned? And that's a process that I do now once a month. And I learned I'm very good at pushing that off. And so now I schedule 2 blocks in my calendar. So every
Mm,
CEO day before I end, I have to schedule the next one. And I schedule 2 so that I have the option to like cancel one essentially and do the
yeah.
backup slot. And that's something I do monthly. And then every year I do a retreat with myself. I do an overnight in a hotel one night and like break down all my clients, all my work. Again, what would I do for sure again? What would I maybe not do? Where do I want to go? What new events do I want to go after? And that has been a game changer for me and something I assumed people's managers would do with them. I have since learned from people who work for others, their managers don't do this, but just realizing we need to have actual time to be tactical,
Yeah.
not just as business owners, but like even as an individual. If you work for someone else, you should do this too, so that you don't wake up 3 years from now and be like, I actually did not like what I was just doing for 3 years. So
Yeah.
that's just I'm very passionate about my CEO days, if you can't tell.
No, no, but I think it's important for people to do. Like I've actually been doing content on that. I'm doing a mentor. I have a mentor right now that's in the industry that I was talking to, and she came to me because she wanted to fix her system. But I was like, "Have you looked at what worked last year?" And then we were going through. I was like, how much is your average client spending with you? How much time is it taking you to execute these things? Like, where are you getting these people? And we were going through all these questions. She's like, no. I was like, so why would we be fixing a system that you don't even know what we're fixing it with? And she's like, oh, and it's like, yeah, like we don't just go into the next year with not knowing because again, like often we can get so wrapped up, and especially those of us in the event management side of it, we're just producing, and not really seeing, even if someone's charging a large, a reasonable, packages or whatever. But if it's taking us a lot of time, it don't matter if you just got paid $10,000 if you're now dealing with someone for months and hours, and then you're blocked off for a few days pre and post. Like, and you're paying people to be there and all these different things. Like, you have to really take that time. So I'm glad you mentioned it because I feel like it's people like need to hear is not just one random person that keeps saying y'all need to take time to do these things. Kind of like the parent, be like, if someone else says it, they listen. So I'm hoping that the people that are listening today just be like, okay, someone else said it. That wasn't Jesse that keeps saying you need to, we, we need to start doing this. Yes, we need to start
Yes.
doing this.
I love it. Yeah, it's so helpful, and I wish I did it earlier. I honestly have only
Yeah.
been doing it probably these last 4, maybe 5 years, and I just think back to, yeah, younger me. I wish I had a little bit more reflection, of just being able to note down what was, and it would be fun to go back and look at because I do actually
Yeah.
write stuff down. So now I have this kind of record. I can go back and see what 2018 me thought was like the next big shiny event I wanted to go after.
Yeah.
But to your point about profitability, I mean, that's one thing I do. I do track my time, and that's something I learned at my agency I worked at, and I've carried it forward. And maybe I fall in and out of being very accurate to just going back and being like, I think did an hour here, half an hour here, hour here.
Yeah.
But that's part of that annual review is I do go back and I audit How much money did I get paid? How much money did I have to spend on other costs for this specific event? And how much time did I spend? And then I do the really ugly calculation of what that hourly rate is.
Yes.
And some clients, to your point, came out pretty poor when I first
Yeah.
started doing this. And each year I've gotten better at
Yeah.
improving my profitability as a business and as a person, because rose-colored glasses, months later, you're like, that wasn't that much time. It went pretty quick. But having data I can go back to and go, oh no,